news this week. What's that? I guess there's no news. But still, extra, hear all about it.
Hello guys, and welcome back to Extra, your gaming news podcast. Joining me today is James. What's up, James?
Me finally. I'm done. I got my gamer subs going. Well, I'm here, so.
Nice.
I'm ready.
And then we're also joined by Landen.
What up, guys? I'm doing quite wonderful today.
Man, we created this podcast at the wrong time. Just no stories whatsoever, you know?
Yeah, there's like nothing really going on.
We had to scrape the bottom of the barrel today.
You know how it is in early January, nothing happens.
Yeah. Except for the week that we did all our introductions and everyone decided to hit us with news. Alright, so let's see. The first story. Oh, yeah. Microsoft buys Activision Blizzard for $68.7 billion.
Well, that's not a small story at all.
You thought we were gonna go on without talking about it. You fools! We tricked you.
What a hell of a story, though. What a hell of a story. One of the biggest stories, if you might say, of all gaming history, probably.
Oh, man. So, any opening thoughts before we get into discussions?
Oh my god, there's so much to talk about. There's so much to talk about. It's been, 2 days since it's been announced, and man, my brain constantly thinks about it. My nerdy ass constantly thinks about it. What's Call of Duty going to be like in the future? Call of Duty going to be Games Pass? Yeah, most likely. Is Call of Duty going to be better in the next 4 or 5 years? Man, I fucking hope so. There's so much. World of Warcraft now has a chance to come back and maybe even be good. I'll try not to go off the rails, but there is so much to talk about.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a turning point in multiple facets of the gaming communities.
What I love, this came out after the fact, but it's somewhat related. I don't know that we're going to get to it, but I was thinking if we get to the story, I'd have another bit, have a second bit for the whole podcast, and I'd play Bobby Kotick as if he's Dr. Claw or whatever from Inspector Gadget, and trying to buy the media companies to change the story. Did you guys hear about that? He's planning on buying Kotaku and PC Gamer and have them write stories about how great Activision Blizzard is.
Like an evildoer, dude. Like a typical bad guy. What a goon. What a goon. That's the word I'm looking for. Goon.
So I just want to throw that in my opening thoughts. I don't actually think we'll get to it in the discussion, but
just quick call out to Bobby Kotick being a goon.
And he was in Epstein's Black Book, so
I didn't even know about that, but that makes sense.
Yeah, no, he was in his Black Book, and somehow he avoided controversy there for some reason.
Huh. Wow. Okay.
No, all the sexual issues at the company make sense, huh?
It just all adds up, yeah. Fucking goon.
Just slipped under the radar.
So, Yeah, they announced it. What was it? Tuesday. They announced that they have the intention. We keep saying they bought it. It's not official. They're
It's
still
like April, I think. It's not.
Yeah.
All the paperwork's not finished. I mean, that's got to be a lot of paperwork.
paperwork's not finished. I don't think the purchase can go through till the lawsuit's resolved. The Department of Justice has to approve it because there's the argument against it being a monopoly at that point. But from everything I read, that's just it's not big enough of a purchase for the DOJ to actually bat an eye at it, so it'll probably just be pushed through for them.
It looks like until the deal has been closed in 2023, Microsoft can't do all that much with it.
Yeah.
They can still accrue all the information, everything they need in that time frame.
So yeah, that's so we keep saying it's pretty much a done deal as far as like both sides have agreed to the numbers and everything. It's just getting through all the red tape is what it looks like. So we're gonna act like it's complete because I don't see any reason it's not gonna be completed from what I've seen.
Second biggest news story of the year, it doesn't go through.
Yeah, that'll be something. But yeah, I can start with I have some stuff I want to talk about. They said that Bobby Kotick's going to stay in his position until the deal's done, and then he'll have to report to directly to Phil Spencer. But there's reports that it's just they made a deal where he's going to exit quietly after the deal is done. Some people are upset about that, but the thing is, if he was ever going to exit, he was going to exit softly. Like, he was never going to have
I agree.
This big, dishonorable discharge, if you will. Like,
I don't think that was ever the case. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah. He was always going to have a cushy exit. So that's, people are upset, but that was the only possible option outside of him staying.
At least he'll be gone. Like, get him out of there.
Yeah.
Not the way everybody wanted to, but he'll be gone.
Yeah, for sure. They've had all these issues with, how women are treated in the workforce. This is something I looked up and found interesting. 7 of Xbox's 13 executives are women. They have more women executives than men executives.
Okay.
So
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Nor did I.
So that
there's diversity in the Xbox crew. That's good.
Yeah. So hopefully hopefully that'll help. I haven't heard anything bad about the work culture at Microsoft as far as the Xbox side of things. So
I've been nothing but good things with most first party studios that's been working with Microsoft for the most part. I'm sure Rare's had some problems in their history, but the last Xbox, 7 or 8 years, it's been nothing but good things said. Most studios.
Yeah, Xbox definitely has not had the best past, but yeah, in recent memory, they've done a really good job.
I wouldn't say it's Microsoft's problem, but the 343 Industries had a lot of internal problems going for about 5 to 6 years.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't really call that Microsoft's problem. I think it's just a big video game that a lot of people had a whole bunch of different ideas for.
Yeah, I don't know that there was ever going to be. I think honestly, Halo Infinite being at least the campaign. We've discussed our issues with multiplayer, but I think it's the best that we could have hoped for, honestly, because you had the 2 different styles of Halo, and you had, trying to, the best of both worlds couldn't really happen in that way.
Mm-hmm.
So you had to figure out how to, it was never going to be a the best of situations there, so I did not envy them.
Yeah, and I think that's why I kind of have a bit of an iffy point of view on Halo from 4 onwards. Because I grew up playing the game, so it's like, it's never going to be what Halo started as, because what Halo started as isn't going to hold its own in today's
Agreed.
Agreed. Communities. It's like, yeah, some change was needed. It sucks. It's not the Halo I used to know. They're still doing really good for the franchise though, and I'm needing to get Halo Infinite's campaign because I'm really wanting to look into it.
I still have yet to play it either. I'm kind of waiting on the 4-player co-op. This is kind of what I would like to do.
Yeah,
gonna be great, especially like the open world
aspect of it.
thing. Yeah.
And I'm sure there'll be more to the campaign by the time I do play it.
yeah. There's
They're planning on adding a lot to it over the years, apparently. But again, we'll see how that.
10-year game, they say. It was also a
Like
10-year
Destiny,
game.
Yeah. We'll see what happens on that front.
Yeah.
I'm playing through
Heard
it
it
right now
before.
through stream, but like I am planning on, going back when co-op's available for Legendary. I don't know that I want to solo Legendary again. I've done it for some of the other Halo games for achievements. It's not a fun experience.
Yeah.
Have you done a lasso?
I want to, but I need a team that can carry me because I'll admit I'm not good, but I want to do it. I think it'd be fun with a group of friends.
I got to New Alexandria on Reach doing it solo, and good lord.
But yeah, we mentioned, we've, there's been a lot of good things said about Microsoft Studios. Double Fine, that, people that made my personal game of the year last year, Psychonauts 2, they said, Tim Schafer, said that Microsoft gave them the money so that they could complete like 8 bosses that they were going to have to cut from the game. And they didn't interfere with the production at all. They're like, here's the money you need to complete the game, and you can still complete it in your vision. So what I'm hoping is, Activision moved all of their studios specifically to Call of Duty. What I'm hoping is that, with Microsoft, they're like, if you want to, obviously we want to make a Call of Duty that's a moneymaker. The most recent Call of Duty came out in November, and it was the best-selling game of the year. So obviously they're not going to want to stop that, but, they're like, if, we need someone to make a Call of Duty, but if you don't want to make a Call of Duty right now, you can work on the project you want to work on. As long as, we're still getting some Call of Duty, but you can alternate, you can do what you want, like get the creative juices flowing. And I do think that'll make a better Call of Duty too, because
God, yes.
Because people will have that, they won't be forced in that box, so they'll be able to expand.
They don't have a corporate overlord hovering over them saying, we need to make this much money or else. Like, there's not going to be that pressure. There shouldn't be that pressure moving forward. Like, everybody in the studios, I know that, there's three or four studios. Raven Studios, there's Infinity Ward, there's Treyarch, and there's Sledgehammer Studios. All 4 of these people all work on their own thing, but they are pushing out yearly content for their stuff. And if they could just take their time, they have so many good studios to just take their time and put out essentially for the first year in a long time, not this year, maybe not even the year after, but we could see Call of Duty take a year break, and a much needed year break.
Toys for Bob and what was the other one? The one that made Tony Hawk. They were moved off of their projects they were working on to help with Call of Duty too.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Let's give a shout out to the sleeper hits of this acquisition. Spyro the Dragon and Crash Bandicoot are now Xbox exclusives. And that is something they definitely needed with some family-friendly video games.
Yeah, they were originally PlayStation exclusives on top of that, so...
Yep. Yeah, dude. What? Yeah. Oh, poor Sony. What was the percentage of their stocks that went down? It was like 16? 13?
Yeah, it's like 13%, which amounts to about $20 billion.
Oh my god. Overnight?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I won't go too much into it, but Sony already needed to come up with a here's our answer to Games Pass. Well, not only do they need to do that, but they need to come up with here's our answer to Games Pass, and like, hey, I know you're not going to be wanting to play a whole lot of these games they just bought, but hold on, we got something too. Like, they need that. They're gonna, and E3 is just around the corner. You know, Xbox is gonna capitalize on this. They're gonna, like, this E3 is gonna be huge, and Sony hasn't been a part of E3 for the last 3 years. I'm sure they'll keep moving forward. Even with Sony having their own conference, there's no way they have an announcement that's gonna just be as big as what Microsoft is. Like, this is Microsoft's year. It's been Microsoft's year for 2 years in a row, this being their third year, and this is a huge, huge year for them.
Although, if the rumors are to believe, there might not be an E3 this year, or maybe even ever again. So that's.
I thought it was just a digital event. Was it not?
They announced it was going to be a digital event, but there's rumors circulating right now that it might not happen at all. I don't know if they just haven't managed to convince people to, pay the.
Well, the events will exist. Like, it might not be called E3. Us millennials will keep calling it E3 anyways.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But Microsoft will have, hey, this is our digital event that we're having. Sony, this is our digital event. Nintendo, this is our digital event. EA, so on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and there's also stuff like Game Pass.
It'll just be in a different condensed yeah. Like, IGN will probably take over or something. Our biggest competitors in the podcast market.
Yeah.
You hear that, IGN?
Yeah, we're coming for you!
Coming for you, and then kind of funny.
Hey, we can't step on their toes. That's that's some big shoes to fill.
So, like, a lot of people are talking about, comparing this to the Bethesda deal. Like, as far as, like, outside the industry, they're like, this is just like them buying Bethesda. And, yes and no. Like, the reason that, the Bethesda didn't have as much red tape as this one was Bethesda was privately traded before Microsoft bought them. These are two publicly traded companies. So there is some differences in the purchase, which is why, like, it's industry-wide, they're not talking about it quite the same way.
Yeah.
James, do you have any extra thoughts on this?
To be honest, this isn't really something I'm too well informed on. I just found out about this happening.
Well, let's go more into it on my side. I'm super stoked about how World of Warcraft will be on Games Pass. That's going to be crazy. Think about the people with the yearly subscriptions, the yearly expansions that they do. Every year, you can be guaranteed that expansion will be there for Games Pass. The catalog for Games Pass has just grown so much. You got, Halo Wars is an RTS. StarCraft 2 is an RTS. Maybe they venture out in a couple of years and bring StarCraft 2 to Games Pass for consoles. It wouldn't be too hard. I mean, maybe. One can hope. I'm a huge StarCraft guy. Bring that to console. Man, Overwatch. Like, the acquisition being $70 billion is a lot, but the marketing alone, the what do you call that? The merchandising for these companies they bought is huge. Overwatch is such a huge game, and like the game battles and the MLG scene for Overwatch is also huge. Now they own that, and they own Halo, they own Call of Duty, they own Overwatch. Some of the biggest shooters that I know.
Mm-hmm. And they already had Halo and Doom and Wolfenstein.
Pulling Rainbow Six Siege content day one on Games Pass. So let's just count that.
Yeah,
like, why would you not own a console? Like by the end of this console generation, like PlayStation will be the Nintendo console. Like, I own a Nintendo, so I can play Mario and Zelda. That's about it. And there's only a few games that I get on the Nintendo console. Maybe like 5 to 10 throughout each Nintendo's life cycle. Or console life cycle. And now and PlayStation might be the same. And by the end of this generation, confident to release a PlayStation 6? Will we get a PlayStation 6?
Dude,
I think with everything with the PS5s being unattainable and everything, I feel like it's gonna take a big hit on them. It's like any of the exclusives they've released for it, like no one's able to experience because no one can get the console.
That's why they keep trying to they made Horizon Forbidden West on PS4, and then God of War is now going to be on PS4. Yeah, there's just not enough people out there. Or not enough consoles out there.
And this acquisition, this might be a new incentive for me to actually get me an Xbox again.
Oh, I immediately was like, I really want one. I immediately wanted one.
It's been 5 or 6 years since I've really played on my Xbox, just because like the exclusive that really drew me to Xbox was Halo. Like I was getting the consoles because I was waiting for the new Halo games to come out, but since that's on PC now, it's like there's not really any exclusives that I've really gravitate towards. It's
all the Bethesda games now
on Steam now too.
So yeah.
But this might be a bit of a turning point there. Instead of,
I mean, Games Pass is $180 a year. To justify it, you need to find yourself 3 games a year that's coming to Games Pass for it to be worth your money. You're guaranteed now. I buy Call of Duty every year, so there's one game guaranteed for me that's going to be there on Games Pass every year for me that I'm going to for sure buy. I just need 2 other games, and I'm sure that'll happen. Let alone like last year, Back 4 Blood. Like there's tons of games last year that looked great. You have all the Xbox exclusives that are slowly starting to roll out. They're actual studios that they announced like within the last 4 years. And this year and next year, we'll actually hopefully seeing a lot of these games start to release. Fable and etc. start to actually come out. And was that Hellblade as well?
Yeah.
I mean, Games Pass is the way to go. You're just like all the games that you already know you want to play that's on there, all the Bethesda games and Activision games and all that, the other Xbox exclusives. There's other little games that'll be on there that'll make you want to adventure out just to try, because why not? Download it, play it for 15 minutes, not your thing, see you later, delete it. I'll see you later, I'll try something else. Games Pass is the best experience, and it is sweeping the world in video gaming as the biggest and best thing that's ever came to video games. I can't get enough of it, dude. I am a Sony pony and been a Sony pony since the beginning of PlayStation 4. I've been on that horse, but I think I might have to abandon ship. It is not looking good for the ponies, for us ponies.
I was going from a pony.
Yeah, I am the pony. Dude, God of War, like some of my top 5 favorite games is like 4 of the 5 are PlayStation exclusives. But you can have the best games ever, and I'll buy your console to play those 5 or 6 games, but I'm going to own the other one and stay playing the other one if you're going to bring me all these like 10, 15 titles a year that I'm going to want to play.
And you brought up World of Warcraft. What would be crazy? Like, I don't think they're going to have the full, World of Warcraft subscription, wrapped up with Game Pass.
No.
But even if you have like Game Pass, if you have Game Pass, you have the a discount on the subscription. Like that would be huge.
A discount on the subscription, and maybe potentially like lead into like the expansions, other little content that they could release. Just be like, hey, thank you for being a Games Pass member. Yeah, insane.
I'm waiting to make my warlord and wear Master Chief armor.
Right, yeah, Master Chief running around in Call of Duty in a couple of years from now.
I'm honestly surprised
some of the
how,
characters.
What is it? Fortnite has like the amount of crossovers they've done in their games. I'm not a fan of Fortnite, but just like bringing Master Chief and all these characters from like Naruto and everything into how they have like this massive multiverse that they've built. And
Naruto I'm not sure about, because they already announced, Call of Duty already announced like a Warzone crossover with AOT, and everything I saw, the character models don't look good.
No, they don't look
good. Yeah, it didn't look good at all. I'm sure it'll still be about $15 on Call of Duty.
But like for like Master Chief would fit in that style.
Yeah, I can see that.
To a Doom guy.
Doom guy would also. You know what? What just came to my head, honestly, is that Xbox has every reason and every every right to make their own Smash Brothers now. Like, there's no reason they shouldn't have their own Smash Brothers. They have their own enough exclusives, whether, the Bethesda games with Doom Guy, like Activision, all the Blizzard stuff. Their ultimate mashup fighting game is more valid now than it has ever been. Because people used to make jokes. What are you going to do? Have a car versus a chainsaw? And they were right.
Yeah.
Bring back Soul Calibur.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They,
Just throw everyone in the pit.
could you imagine a world where there's Nintendo's Super Smash Brothers that has Minecraft Steve, and then there's Xbox's Super Smash Brothers that also has Minecraft Steve?
Yeah. Something also awesome with that Fortnite is I play on my PlayStation, and I have Marcus Phoenix as a character who's an Xbox character that I get to run around as in Fortnite, which is great, while playing with Xbox people. I am not a fan of Fortnite. I don't like the building, but I have 2 younger nephews, so I do get to experience the culture of Fortnite and as it grows.
Fortnite's.
It's an experience, that's for sure. A unique experience.
I will say their events that they have.
Their events, though, yeah, those are.
That's the closest thing to the metaverse that we have at the moment.
It was like I think it was the beginning of the 2nd season, like whatever, they just made the whole map just collapse into a black hole.
Oh, yeah.
To start, I was like,
and then the game was just down for 3 or 4 days, and everybody's like, "What's happening?" The whole internet broke. Yeah,
and that was so smart too, making it an event where, so people aren't complaining about, the servers being down. They're like, "What's happening?" By doing that, they not only were able to revamp the whole game, but also had a narrative around their servers being down. So people wouldn't complain. That was genius on that.
Yeah, that is actually, I didn't even think about that part. Yeah, that is genius. Like, hey, quiet, everybody's working on the new update, and we don't need anybody to actually work on the game while it's live. That's perfect. That's smart. And we just need we need Microsoft to buy Epic, which is what, Tencent, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen. Never mind.
That
ain't gonna happen. No, that's a mega giant. Even if Xbox had the money, they wouldn't buy it.
Last week. Oh, you can go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good.
Last week I had talked about my experience in going to school for game design and everything, and we all talked about how anymore it's better just to make an indie game and, develop from there, work on your own terms. Well, there's been a lot of talk about, what happens if all of the AAA studios get bought, there'd be no third party. The indies would be third party. Like, they already basically are almost AAA experiences at this point, some of them.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happened to Cuphead. Like, that was an indie game that got taken in by Microsoft, and that game did amazingly.
I still need to watch the trailer for the show.
The show?
Yeah, there's they're making a Cuphead, what is it, Netflix series?
Netflix original series for Cuphead, where it's Cuphead and the other one.
Really? Mugman?
I don't remember. Mugman, that's right, yeah.
Yeah.
What a hard ass video game. Like, what a ridiculously hard video game. I made it to the second island. I gave up eventually.
The music,
I could play tons of video games like that. I'd love to see other games do the same thing. Like, just do that old school style.
A lot of the his name, Caleb Heil, and all those DA games, all the people that make fan music for games like that, all the songs that came out of that and Bendy and the Ink Machine are just great.
Dude, you've seen the evolution of I'm drawing a blank on his name, the dude that created FNAF. You've seen the evolution.
No, I'm Scott Coffin.
yeah. Sorry. I knew it was Scott something. But as long as you said Scott, I was gonna roll with you.
I was on the right path.
But yeah, you've seen the evolution of his games. I mean, the most recent Five Nights dude, that game, I've watched a little bit of Markiplier playing it. And, like, dude, that game looks incredible.
I'm trying to save myself on it, but, like, even this, like, the trailer and stuff I've seen of it, though, it looks really good.
Yeah. I'm not, like, I've always been interested in Five Nights at Freddy's, not interested enough to pay attention to the lore or anything. So some of the stuff, like,
it's
some
so
of the
convoluted.
yeah, some of the background stuff, I was like, I don't know what's going on with some of this background stuff happening, but cool.
I've got a buddy whose daughter is like an encyclopedia on that. Like, she knows every bit of the lore on like the back of her hand. You have a question about any character, any event, and she's got everything you need to know right off the top of her head. But like, they need to. It'd be really cool if they did some kind of like adaptation of the game that just came out for their like VR, because playing the games and then playing them in VR, it's a whole other animal. Like, it's horrifying.
Oh yeah,
Great.
VR, like, I would hate it, but I think VR, like, scary games in VR are like the best way to play VR, because like the horror I like, I'm not a big fan of jump scares per se, but I do love, I think a good, well set up horror game has that atmosphere. And like, even if the atmosphere isn't well set up in a game, if you're in VR, it automatically makes the atmosphere, it like raises that up, tenfold.
Yeah, and even if it's like not even a full fleshed out game or anything, like you go into VR chat and some of the worlds people have made are like based off other horror games, like you can take it off, but it feels like you're right there. Like I found a map the other night from the hospital from Little Nightmares 2. There wasn't any music or anything, but just like the atmosphere and stuff was putting me on edge.
So we mentioned Kind of Funny before. Tim Getty's best friend, Alfredo. I watched a video where he was playing a horror game in VR, and there was a moment, I don't remember what game it was, but there was a moment in that video where the jump scare got him so much he literally jumped out of the headset. Like,
wow.
Like the headset came off because he jumped backwards and like had reached the far end of where the range was. So the headset stayed and he just continued flying backwards.
That's the beauty of it. And then you pop out of the headset and then you're jarred by realizing you've suddenly switched back into reality.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I have a buddy that actually, I think it was What Lies Beneath was the game. Something in that game got him so bad that he broke into a sprint and flipped over his couch.
Dang. I played Resident Evil 7 in PSVR, and that was quite a trip. That was definitely a scary game in VR.
Oh yeah, that was my first VR experience.
The first half. Yeah, that was pretty much my first VR experience as well. That and like the demo games they gave me. I played the whole game in VR though, from start to finish.
So here's an interesting question, pivoting a little bit back to the story, but about what we were talking about. PlayStation has a VR integration already and is about to release, their newest VR. Xbox doesn't have VR. Do you think they should lean into that? That they have that and Xbox doesn't, since, obviously Xbox just got a major boost to their lineup.
Well, Phil Swisher has said multiple times about how it's not, like, they've gone down several different gaming markets and the VR is just not something they've been looking into recently. Yeah. But, I mean, honestly, they're expanding their portfolio, such a wide audience with more and more of these studios that they own, that they have, I mean, they could probably either, one, create their own unique experience in VR, or two, which is most likely to happen, is just team up with someone else and just add the VR capabilities, integrate with Xbox, with someone other, whether it be Oculus or whatever else, it'd be more likely to have it.
Yeah, I think Xbox is going to get into the VR game for sure. I just think, Sony could very well make an acquisition to help even the playing field a little bit, but like maybe they do lean into like, that side. They have their first parties, aka like a Nintendo, where like people buy their consoles for their first party games, but then they're also leaning extra hard into VR, like making
as their niche.
Yeah, as like a niche, so that way they can, that way they can have that one up on Xbox at least. Because at least at this point, Xbox is, Forza is far superior to Gran Turismo. As in public perception at least. I don't play driving games, so I can't actually speak to the gameplay of either. They no longer have like a first person shooter. Like that's Microsoft territory now.
Well, they're set up to potentially have a VR shooter if they wanted to. I mean, they have the IPs like Resistance and Killzone. Like they have games. SOCOM's just sitting in their back pocket for the last like what feels like 15 years. Yeah. They just pull that bad boy back out and show everybody what a real shooter is like. Because I love SOCOM, and they just don't do anything with it for some reason.
But yeah, if they make their first person shooters, like you said, with their existing franchises, but like pivot extra hard into VR, maybe they, they can.
They definitely have something to work with.
Oh god! Like so, if I was Sony, this is what I'd do. This summer, I would be like, "Hey, you guys are probably worried of whether you should buy a PlayStation or not, and we're going to show you why you should still get a PS5 if you can find one." And they needed to say, "Here's our 17 or I think it's 18 exclusive studios that make video games just for us." And here's what every single one of them are doing. Yes, this is down the pipeline, but every single one of these studios is making a game that you will love. Just show us. Just be transparent as much as possible. PlayStation is now the underdog, and when they're the underdog, feel like they do the best. And they are now definitely the underdog. Just show us what you made up. Buy Konami. Give us Silent Hill and a Metal Gear Solid. Bring those back to exclusives, and then put Kojima right back into his home with both those games. There's some, I'm sure there's like Square Enix, like buy Square Enix, and you got your, very few big titles, but you still have Square Enix with like Final Fantasy and stuff, and put those on the PlayStation as exclusives. They could still do something. Like they need to do something. I'm scared for them.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of their they've kind of branched out a lot of their exclusives, and that's taken a lot of the incentive away from getting it. Like, FromSoft, like that's a big thing for them, is people complaining about Bloodborne being an exclusive.
Yeah,
it's such a popular game.
Phenomenal game.
Oh, I love it. If they were to do that for like, I'm glad they're not, because I don't have the means of playing it. But like if they were to have done that with Elden Ring, like that would have
buy FromSoft. That would be huge. That would be like they have money. Like they have money, and I'm sure there's some studios out there that they could grab to try to like clap back at Microsoft. I'm sure they've got it in them. Like
me and friend of the show Cole, we looked up the how much cash on hand Sony has. And, comparatively, it's not as much as even Microsoft after this acquisition has. But, like, they have the most cash on hand for any Japanese company right now. So.
They could do it. They could buy some stuff, pull it out of their pocket. Like, it doesn't have to be, like, a Square Enix. I don't think Square Enix would be an $8 billion company like Bethesda. I think it would be a little bit less than that. And then you buy FromSoft, and that's like a couple bill. It's not an 8 bill, but it's a couple bill, that's for sure. You just buy these things. Like I said, Metal Gear Solid, like the internet would blow up just as much as the internet's blowing up right now for Xbox. Maybe not as much, but if you show that you got Metal Gear Solid and you have Silent Hill and you have its daddy Kojima in the place to make those two games, the internet's gonna go crazy. The internet will go crazy.
So
sorry, rant over.
it's about time to close up. We've had some good discussions. Is there any closing thoughts or anything?
This will not be the last time we talk about this. This will be talked about throughout this whole year, I'm sure. And the changes throughout, the ripple of changes throughout the gaming metasphere moving forward there's going to be so much to talk about. They brought such great news moving forward to consistently talk about, and what they will announce throughout the coming months is going to be great. I am so very excited for the future of video games. Daunting as it is, Microsoft spending $70 billion, I am excited for all the studios they now own. Hell yeah, Xbox.
James, you got any closing thoughts?
I'm with him on the Kojima thing.
Right, dude? Am I wrong, though? Like, give me Metal Gear Solid and its daddy. Put daddy in his home. Like, give me the Metal Gear Solid remake that we're all fucking asking for. Like, you can't continue it. That's a bad idea.
Who was that?
You just
Give us
reboot
Silent
it.
Hill.
Yeah, give us the Silent Hill. Give us PT, the game that we wanted. Give us the Norman Reedus Silent Hill we all deserve. I had PT downloaded on my old PS4, and that game was phenomenal. It was going to be a masterpiece. I don't care what anybody has to say. That game was going to be a masterpiece. Norman Reedus, awesome. Death Stranding is a close
that's what
second. What we got.
Monster sponsored UPS sim.
I enjoyed it, man. I was for the ride. I enjoyed it.
I spent half an hour sitting under a rock waiting for it to stop raining. I lost interest quick.
I don't blame you, dude.
So, for me, closing thoughts, a lot of people are scared because, there's the whole idea that if everyone gets bought out, what is there really to play if you don't have every console? I don't see it that way because we mentioned indies. I think, at least with this particular acquisition, we can take a look at acquisitions in the future. This particular acquisition, there is nothing but good because of all of the bad that was involved with this particular studio.
Yeah, the company, there's a lot of, you were 100% right. Well said. Very well said, because that company was looking bad, whether it be Blizzard or Activision, had a lot of bad roots, and what better way to be incorporated with one of the better side of video games right now with Microsoft. Perfect.
Yeah, it'll definitely be better for them in the long run.
Oh, you know what? I know. Oh, I'm sorry, my bad. I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm so sorry. But the 300 employees that's been on strike for the last month under Raven Studios for Activision probably saw this news and was leaping for joy. 300 employees on strike that would have got laid off immediately with no questions asked. And all these employees have been without a job, no job security, and they probably saw this and like, thank God we're saved. And I'm sure they still have to fight for it, and they got a little bit of ways to go. But thank God for those, like Microsoft buying it, because I'm sure those employees are now in great hands.
Oh, yeah. And they got a little bit of time before the handover, but I'm sure whatever happens between now and then is going to be for the better whenever we do reach that point in time.
Yep.
So one thing... Go ahead.
No, that's all I had.
All right. So one thing I do feel I need to add, since we are early in our show's run, first of all, if you see the XofPlays channel or anything related to extra as an NFT, just know it's not us.
Yeah, make sure you put that out there. I'm sure that's a thing.
Oh yeah, that's last week. There were so many channels that the link to the channel became an NFT, and so they were selling these selling the channels, and it wasn't just like platinum, YouTube channels. It was gold and silver YouTube channels too. Like even smaller channels are getting hit.
I don't understand it. Like, there was a group that bought, like, the books, The book that came out, Dunes.
Oh, the NFTs of them?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're like, we own Dune
like,
now.
own
No,
it now.
you don't. You
No,
do
it
not
doesn't
own
work that
Dune.
way.
It is a book that was written, you dumb idiots.
You own a picture that you dumped billions on. Good for you.
God. Jesus. The NFT is a dark road to head down and talking about, that's for sure.
Stupid.
And,
I got a print screen button right here on my keyboard. It's like,
That's all the NFTs you need right there.
that's all I need.
The other thing is, obviously we've talked about Activision Blizzard. So if you don't know, just so we're very clear, we very much support women and any other underrepresented community in gaming. Like, we're all about it. So don't come in here
100%.
with any toxic, opinions on that. And even though we have our own, gaming platforms that we prefer, we're all about gaming as a whole, not, pounding this was very Xbox heavy, but, we're not only Xbox, we're PlayStation and Nintendo, we're
PC Master Race.
We're the everybody master race.
yeah. So just get all that out there so that way, any toxic people can go fuck themselves and just not be in our community. Just get that right out the gate. We should have done it episode 1, but we're doing it at the end of episode 2. So there you go. You know now.
Now you know. Listen, now you know.
That's right. Leave it on Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
So, Landen, where can they find you?
Hi, my name's Landen. My handle is at LMJ the Hitman. I'm on Twitch. I'm on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. I got some real stupid shit that I do on TikTok, so feel free to come make fun of me, comment, like, do all the cool things that makes me happy.
That's what the rest of us do, is just make fun of him.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, I love it. I can bring it on. I'll take all of it. You're laughing as long as you're watching.
And then James.
Hello. I have something this time.
Oh, you do?
Hey.
Yeah. Well, I don't post on it too frequently. I do put some gameplay up on Somber Puppet on YouTube.
Nice.
But, yeah, if you want to watch me be an idiot, fumble around with some buddies and some games, that's the place you can find me.
Hell yeah. I just subscribed. I didn't even know, but now I know.
Well, thank you kindly.
So you can find me, obviously, on the XofPlays YouTube channel that this podcast goes up on. That's where all my Let's Plays are at. You can find me on Twitch at The Dean Slater. That's also my Twitter. I also have another YouTube channel, and it's just for like other nerd stuff that's not related to gaming. Like I've talked about comics on there, anime, all sorts of stuff. So that's the briefing room. So that's everything for us. On YouTube, be sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. And guess what? We're on Spotify and Google Podcasts now.
Oh, more places to show us the love.
Yeah. So, leave a comment, rate, whatever. 5 stars, please. I use Google Podcasts myself, and we are currently not searchable there. You have to have the link, which is crazy. To find us. So, write reviews, do whatever you can to get the activity up enough that we're searchable. So, we did apply for other podcasts. We're just waiting on approval. So you'll soon be able to find us on other places as well. But that's it for us. We will talk to you guys later. Take care.
See you guys.
Ta-ta for now.